So the film the seed was started by actually Shape Arts, the charity supporting artists with disabilities in response to the theme Paradise Lost. I was very open to that. As part of my disability, very much struggled to write, so I decided to adopt somewhat of a structure and then respond in like a wider way to it, and the structure was Dante's Inferno. I think it's hard for me to be concise about how I make films because most of it is in the process, and the process is very tactile, and then what happens is often the things are made and I can only even identify what I made in a trance, kind of like looking back. So, I mean, I think I wasn't able to have a set studio space for it, so I just continued making it in a bedroom. So that was a challenge. But funnily enough, so far most of my artistic practice has been based around you kind of just making where your feet are. The bits outdoors aren't sets, it's just me animating in the frost in January outside in our garden. All the bits, the metal and things like that, I scavenged from the job I was working at, and also just in fly tips around. I was the only person working on it. I didn't have any technical assistance, and I think that was the last film I'm going to make without, like on that technical scale, without an assistant actually helping, like in production, because it is just very physically demanding. I also wanted to really push myself with the camera work, because usually I just again use either camcorders or phones or whatever. Again, I really love to advocate for just use whatever you've got. That was a big learning curve for me, just personally, because I don't come from like a photography background or filmmaking background. I did undergrad engineering degree, but I'm really glad I did it. It was mostly in post-production. I think that was probably what almost wiped me out. It was like file management. And I used some green screen stuff for bits, but aside from that, everything in it is stop motion animation. So I built rigs, all sorts of rigs to do like that. Some of it is filmed downward, some of it is filmed this way, like upward, straight, forward, through. I don't know.
I loved with the person playing the cards and that extended scene. I just loved the fact it was extended because you just like wanted more of it. And then there was the whole thing you must have filmed from above where there was like the spinny, I don't know, there was like a shape and then there was something underneath it going round. The cogs, yeah, that was extraordinary.
One of those is from my old motorbike as well that I saved, so yeah. Well, also I'll start with, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your feedback. That's really nice to hear. Thank God. It's hard to say because for stop motion, you actually have to do each take in one fell swoop. You can't break it down into parts because as soon as you stop, even if you remember how you left the lights on, how everything, like how the cameras were set up, they will creep like very slightly until you come back to them. It's just impossible to do it. It will be very obvious, especially with like high-tech camera setups like that. So you have to do more or less a little bit in one go. And it honestly took months. You see the finished product there, but within the process I also made some test shots that were perhaps half the length. They were a bit more rugged, but they were also in a way me choreographing myself into doing the thing, like even planning out my physical energy, which I had to be kind of careful with. And yeah, so that I guess also feeds into it. Roughly in the same spot, and then I take it out, and then basically that took so long to practice to get it roughly in the shapes that I wanted it to go, and I think it's okay. Well, I love how it looks personally, so I'm happy with the outcome, but I was done by eye. I didn't have any, it was literally like, whoa, like that. And in studio conditions, again, they have animatronic rigs for that stuff. But I will die on the hill that you do not need studio conditions. Honestly, and at times I think I was, dare I say, injured myself making this film, but it was well worth it.